about Zallard on Splatterhouse. This is a game that we have quite the history of with regard to speedrunning. We've kind of traded the world record a little bit and have both worked on figuring out lots of the tech for this game, and there's quite a lot of it. So this should be this is being played on the Wii version, by the way. So just so you know, and it should be a great show. Yeah.
This was only released, the arcade version at least, on the Japanese Wii Virtual Console. So that's what we're gonna roll with. It's really difficult to get aboard of this, so this suits our needs. Alright. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright.
Slide kicks do double the damage, and it's the fastest form of movement. So you're gonna see me use this a whole bunch throughout the game. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And also the weapons also deal double damage compared to other regular punches and kicks.
Yes,
but the slide is mostly what you're going to be seeing. Although the sound effects in some of these weapons are pretty damn funny.
Yep.
And this is the first boss here, and it's basically an auto-scroller for speedrunning purposes. It's just a bunch of fixed spawns of these boar worms, and that's it. That's the boss.
Pretty much. Just kind of chilling in this right corner works out pretty well.
Yep. And this is always what I did too, just stay in the far right corner, easiest way to fight these things. You just kind of have to know whether to do standing punches or crouching kicks, depending on the target. And the game likes to throw these last-ditch attacks at you as jump scares. That one actually killed me the first time I played this game.
Yeah, they're so good.
And you get exactly 1 health back between each stage, up to a maximum of 5. And on new lives, you start with 3 health. This stage is really tricky. This is one of the toughest parts to get right for a speedrun because of all these dangling zombies here, they cause a lot of slowdown if you try to just rush through this section. And the slowdown just eats your inputs and it gets awful. So you kind of do have to kill some of these as you go along, even just for speedrunning.
Yeah, I missed one thing at the start and I had to just bail out of the strategy immediately. Because it starts dropping inputs like crazy if you start trying to go for the speedrun strats. Even when it doesn't look like it starts lagging, that it can totally mess you up.
So here is an auto-scroller that lets you go all hacksaw Jim Duggan on these monsters here.
Oh yeah.
One thing to note, if you jump and then you can actually crouch in midair, and if you do that, it actually cuts your jump arc short. So it can cause you to miss some jumps you would otherwise make. Easy to do by accident.
Yes. I'm just doing it because I like dancing in this game.
Yep.
It's too fun. This game does have a lot of auto-scrollers, so I have to find ways to pass the time.
And we actually skip a good chunk of the auto-scrollers, too, with the routes we take. This game is interesting in that it has pits, but the pits don't instantly kill you. They instead take you to extra sections of the level.
Yes.
And those will show up on the next stage. We will not be falling into those pits, though.
Hopefully.
So this is a really cool boss here. You just got to deal with all these various possessed household objects. Luckily, the pattern for these is fixed. So just keep punching the chair, and the knives are very tricky. You want to land slides on them.
Yeah, each knife has 3 HP.
And then if you slide the painting, instant kill. And that's generation right there, because the painting just constantly takes hits. It doesn't really have invincibility when it gets hit. So the slide's doing its 2 points of damage and dealing that damage constantly. That's why it was such a quick kill. And also that chandelier in the middle there, if it falls on you, it instantly kills you. It's the only thing in this game that's instant death.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. The first time I played, actually for quite a while.
So big trick in this stage is the fact that if you slide and you end on top of a weapon, you will pick up that weapon. And this stage is going to involve a lot of careful shotgun management here. That is necessary for the boss. Slide under the birds. Slide past that dude. And pick up a new fresh shotgun with full ammo. And now we can get this strat going.
Pretty alright.
Yep. That's what you want to do. Slide into this guy, Baggy Man here. Or Biggie Man, rather. Bag over his head, but his actual name is Biggie Man. With chainsaw arms, and then you just land a couple hits with the slide and then a shotgun to finish him off. He's really cheap if you don't have the shotgun.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he can make short work of you pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You can manipulate him to jump less if you make his HP an odd value. I missed that one kick, so that didn't happen. It saves maybe like a second or two, but it's nice.
Yeah, you can definitely juggle the two shotguns to the end of stage 3 to answer Guntank's question, but for speedrunning, if you're on point with it, you only need the one.
Yeah, because when you do the slide, it deals 2 damage per hit, and typically you're going to hit him more than once if you do that initial slide into him.
So this stage, as you can see, is another auto-scroller, and it also has... If you fall into a pit here, it takes you to an extra room with a bunch of those boar worms, the stage 1 boss. You have to deal with those again. It's not the most fun thing. Although it is good for score.
Yeah.
Slide into the door to get through that a little bit faster, because slide travels faster than walking. This room, this one's really cool. This can also screw you up unless you know the trick. What you want to do is you want to jump and hold diagonal down forward in the air and keep pressing attack. That way you'll constantly get jump kicks, and you should be able to juggle these guys and just take them out in 3 jump kicks. It is a bit random which mirrors they'll pop out of. There's 3 of them here.
Alright, not too bad. Gotta make sure you get that dance in. It's too good.
And then we're going to get to the boss room here. This one is interesting. Cool music, and there's a long section you have to go through before you actually get to fight the boss. Using your handy-dandy weapon drop here that the game is nice enough to provide for you. The axe is going to come in very handy because this boss has these rotating heads around it that can damage you. So the range of the axe helps to deal with that. There's also a bit of randomness with the head patterns, like where, which ones spawn and what flight pattern they take and everything.
Yeah, so the heads, they can spawn in pretty awkward angles such that a normal standing punch or, crushing kick when you're on the floor doesn't hit them. So in order to hit that in-between sweet spot, you kind of need to do really well-timed jump kicks in order to keep the pressure on him instead of you. So, not too bad, though. We got 4 health going into Stage 5. Stage 5 is the longest stage in the game. There's a pretty particular route I'm going to take.
Yes, Stage 5 has a lot of different branching paths, actually. It's pretty interesting, and also really cool music, but it's also... definitely where the game takes a big leap in difficulty, especially if you take the wrong route. We use the fastest possible route, the route with the least in the way of auto-scrollers, and is just a bit of an easier route compared to some other options. But first, we gotta go hacksaw Jim Duggan again on the chairs here in the first room. You can also try to slide, although that's obviously a lot riskier.
Yeah, the chairs can kind of do random jump heights, and sometimes that ends up hurting you more than helping you.
This is one of the trickiest rooms execution-wise. You want to be able to carry your momentum forward from sliding downhill, and that's a really unlucky short hop there by the weird alien guy. He can randomly do that sometimes.
Yeah, just because of that head, I'll take this pretty safe.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to be careful with our health here at this point.
Oof. Alright, we'll see how this goes.
Okay, ooh, yeah. taking a hit there. That's going to make it a little bit dicey. So this is an auto scroller, but this is a really short one, which is part of why we take this route for speedrunning. There is another auto scrolling section you can take that is definitely longer than this one and more difficult. It's another one of the stage 1 boss boreworm runes. Here's a unique enemy. You're not going to see this guy anywhere else than Necromancer, and I've never ever figured out what the heck he's supposed to be saying. And the trick here is you want to be able to hit him before he finishes chanting his spell. That brings all the zombies back to life and wastes a lot of time. Fortunately, once you have it down, he's not too hard to combo back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad. Now we're already down to the last room before the boss. This one has always tended to give me some trouble in terms of avoiding damage. You gotta deal with anime ghosts dropping skulls on you.
Yeah, they got some jukes.
If you can knock the skull out of them, they can't hurt you, at least.
Alright, I'm gonna try for the quick kill. If it doesn't happen, then I at least get another shot at it.
Yeah, this boss is the gatekeeper of this game when you're playing normally. Really, really tough one because of the range on its attacks, and its pattern can be a bit random. But with speedrunning, you can save tons of time from this fight compared to playing normally, because when you get this boss's HP to an odd number, and then you hit it with nothing but slides, you're actually skipping past its trigger points for like transformation cutscenes.
Yeah, that small hop at the start is it's hard to deal with in terms of getting the loop started.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So we didn't quite get it. So if you do this correctly, you're never going to see this transformation scene at all.
Yeah, my slide was slightly off in the timing of it. You want it to be a little bit... you want it to hit early and last long enough such that it hits again late.
And there goes your girlfriend, alas. And that alien there calling you out. So now you're heading into the heart of the house here. And I mean that literally. As we shall see.
This stage is a really long hallway, and it's really random.
This stage has, I would consider possibly the best music in the game. But that's the only thing I like about this stage. It's just one giant auto-scroller, and there's no checkpoints anywhere here. If you die at any point, even on the boss, you go all the way back to the beginning. And you have these fetuses here. They're really hard to shake off. Shake left and right in order to get them off of you when they try to grab you. Sliding is the best way of dealing with them when they're low to the ground. Anti-airing the eggs here can be tricky. And again, this is all these patterns and spawns are completely random. Really, really rough stage here. Like, this is the hardest stage in the game, I think. Because the last level, at least, is mostly stuff you can memorize, not so much here. So yeah, you want to use standing punches and like jumping punches. Those are your best ways of anti-airing. This boss is a really tricky speedrun strat, where what you can do to it is this. So if you jump backward, face toward the boss and jump kick, and then slide when you land, you'll actually be able to loop that. You can't slide when you're right next to an enemy. You need to build up momentum first.
Yes.
So Zallard did a pretty good job with it there. Very nice boss fight. And also that spew from the boss at the end does damage you. Again, all these jump scare, last-ditch attacks from these bosses after you kill them. Great touch.
Yes.
Now we're up to the final level. And this is all completely fixed patterns. There's no enemies you can kill. It's all just stuff you have to dodge. But once you have it memorized, it's not too bad. If you really want to push your speedrun, you can tank damage through some of this stuff to save time. But I prefer saving health for the boss when you're not going for like some ridiculous world record speedrun. Because the last boss is pretty darn random. And we're about to see it right here, with your mask bringing this thing into being. So all those little shards of, I guess, wood or whatever it is from the ground, that's completely random where those go. That's what makes this fight so hard. It's actually possible to combo this boss by doing a slide and then using well-timed regular attacks to keep hitting the boss while standing on top of it without getting hit. But that's not the most marathon safe thing. The first like 3 phases of this fight here are easier. The last couple phases of work, it's trickier because the hands will attack you at the same time as the boss sends its flying debris at you. So you have to deal with all that at once, as you can see here. Zallard did very, very well to not get hit in the first one, so the boss only has one more phase now. This should be a safe clear now. You can just mash on it at this point. By the way, for scoring purposes, it's possible to get a double KO on the boss. So you get the 100,000 points for killing the boss, but then you die and have to repeat the stage. That's how you can get really high scores in this game. Well-timed double KOs on the last boss.
Yeah. Yeah, I hesitated a lot on that boss because if you just chain punches together, then it leaves very little mobility for you to escape if you get bad rock patterns. And that's been something that I've been losing some runs to lately in terms of just, trying to complete it deathless. But yeah, 1 death, stage 5.
Yep. Really, really good job, Zallard. That's another 1 credit clear right there. Excellent stuff.
Thank you. I was just thinking about this the other day. Been thinking about all the times I've done Splatterhouse for marathons, and I've only no-missed this game once in a marathon. Do you remember which one it was?
I think it might have been the one where you raced me.
Yep. Yep. That's the only one. Every other one has had a death somewhere. It's always something.
Yep. No miss is no joke on this game. Mostly because of stages 5 and 6, and the last boss too. Yeah.
There's usually something that tends to put a lot more pressure on you than the others, but still pretty good. Still pretty good.
Yep. Well, that was Splatterhouse. Hope you all enjoy, and let the credits play out, because they've thrown a little something at the end here. This game was it was made with so much love for classic horror films, just so many references with the bosses of this game and the general presentation of it. This is one of the games I love most on an aesthetic level, of just everything fitting what they're going for here. The music, even the cheesy sound effects, kind of like that low-budget B-movie quality to it, all that.
Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing. They nailed it in that regard.
Yep, one of my favorite arcade games for sure. And you definitely more than did it justice there.
Thank you. Yeah, I love this game. I played it a bunch. Always happy to throw this in any marathon that I can fit in. And yeah, this mask is great.
In this case, it's actually not the end, but unfortunately it is the end for Splatterhouse in arcades. We got 2 sequels from this, and then a gritty reboot that is better left undiscussed. But 2 and 3 have cool stuff in them. Those are both only on the Genesis, though. And Splatterhouse, and I mean Zallard here has also has the speedrun record on Splatterhouse 2, I believe.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yep. All right, next up we got Ghouls and Ghosts to finish it off.
Yes,
Classic.
Last game of the marathon. We got DOSBox Falco coming in with arcade Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, stick around for the finale. It's going to be a good one. All right. Later.
See you later.